Street.
All right, we're on Mill Street. You and Mem used to walk down to St. Joe's.
We walked to St. Joe's,
You'd
which
have
was 2 miles.
Sunday dinner.
We came back up, we had a big Sunday dinner. She'd get her food ready, before leaving. She'd get the dinner ready, because you didn't have dinner at night, you had dinner at noon. So she'd get that ready in a big pot or whatever she was making. A real home-styled old-fashioned dinner, that's what it was. You always had to have potatoes with all of your meals, because you had meat and potatoes and vegetables, and then bread. And the men were always hungry. When you're feeding 4 men, you have to give them lots of food.
When you had meat, I would imagine it wasn't sirloin steak that she was cooking.
No, it was usually some kind of roast.
Okay.
A roast pork, roast beef, or a ham or something. It was always a nice big roast. Lots of potatoes, and on Sunday she'd mash the potatoes. During the week, it was just plain boiled potatoes, and everybody liked potato. You always had to have potatoes every night, yeah. So that was our Sunday, and then in the afternoon, Mem would play games with us. When I went to church, I must have been 5, 6 years old, because Pep would stay home and take care of Uncle Harvey and Aunt Lou. So he didn't go to Mass, and you didn't have Saturday night Masses. But Mem wanted to take me, and the 2 of them couldn't go together, because, the uncles, they went off on their own and came back just for the dinner, Maybe they went to church, I don't know. So.
Now, the church, in those days, the church must have been full on Sundays?
Yes, it was full every Sunday, because the church was built in the middle of the French section too. There was South End and of course Mount Carmel, but a lot of French people lived around St. Joseph. And then there was the French people down the North End, and they had their church there. I don't know why they had 2 churches, one South End, one North End.
That was St. Thomas?
St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, well, it was probably where people, it was built around the neighborhood.
Well, there was a whole collection of French people there, so that's why they ended up with 2 churches, yeah. So, and then, one thing I have to tell you, Pep dug the foundation for the, not the church itself, but they want to do like a recreation. We even had a bowling alley at St. Joseph at the time, in the basement.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and they had a basement, but it wasn't, it was just a dirt basement. So they dug it up, and Pep and his crew, and then they cemented it, and it's after that they put in a bowling alley.
Wow.
So anyways, that was one of Pep's
Now,
projects.
that was the part of the church basement where you and Dad got married all those years later?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but very different.
Right.
Yeah.
Minus the bowling alley.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know when they got rid of the bowling alley, because I think it wasn't profitable for one thing. And then they wanted to use it for more social connections, meetings and stuff like that. So, anyways, I never went bowling there. I was too young. This was mainly the men that went, not the women were too busy at home. So.
Now, the other thing we had talked about, you said Mem a lot of times was prone to migraines, and poor you would have to take care of
I must
Harvey
have
and
been,
Lou.
God, this goes way back. Mem was subject to these horrible migraines. And when she got a migraine, looking back, I think a lot of it was due to all the stress that she was under, with the kids and the boarders and whatnot. And then not only that, but the money issue too. So anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, yeah. I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and Harvey was 2 years younger than me, and Aunt Lucy 3 years younger than me. So when I was up, and she'd get up and tell me, "J'ai mal à la tête à matin. Va falloir que tu prennes soin de ton frère puis ta sœur. I have a bad headache this morning. You're going to have to take care of your brother and your sister." So I'd say, okay. She'd be laying in bed in the other room, and so I got my brother and sister up, and I could hear her. The door was closed. I could hear her vomiting all day long. So what I did, I gave them breakfast first. I made a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I wasn't a good cook at 5 or 6 years old. So anyway, then I kept them quiet. I wanted to make sure they didn't disturb her because she was so sick. I played a lot of games with them. I couldn't take them outside or anything. I had to stay in the apartment, So then around 3 o'clock, she'd get up. She had stopped vomiting for a while. She'd get up, have a cup of tea, and 2 graham crackers. After that, she was good as new. Next day, she'd get up and start all over again. As she got to the point where she'd have these migraines every couple of weeks. She suffered so much with that. Oh, one thing I wanted to tell you. The cause of those headaches, too. After Aunt Lucy was born, we were all born at home. And after Aunt Lucy, I guess the doctor that delivered her really botched her birth and everything. So she had to have a hysterectomy. She was young, 26 or so. So anyways, that's when those headaches started. And they lasted for several years. But as she got older, they were less violent than when she had first started. But anyways, we got through it. I thought, I felt like I was their mother for for a while because she was sick so often, But
Yeah.
anyways, we managed.
How long were you on Rifle Street or Mill Street?
Okay. We were on Rifle Street. We moved downtown on Adams Street.
Now that was Adams, near the corner of Adams and Main, in the south end.
Not really, because there was a big block there
Yeah.
on the corner. And Irene and Jean's first apartment when they were married was in that block.
Those are the blocks on Central Street.
No, not further up. Corner of Main and Central.
Right.
Okay. Beyond the block there was an alley,
Yeah.
and when you turned left, our house was right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Now,
that was a 2-family.
how old were you when you moved there?
I was about 12.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What prompted the move to Adams Street?
okay. Well, you know how religious Mem was too. She wanted me to go, all of us, to St. Joseph. And I had started school already at Elias Brookings School, which was not far from Mill Street or Rifle Street. And I was in 3rd grade, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and I was going to start 3rd grade. And she really wanted us to go to St. Joe. So that's why she found that apartment, and we moved. So
How did she find the apartment?
I don't know. They didn't have the internet to check it out. You know, ma'am.
I mean, at that time, a lot of it must have been word of mouth.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. Probably. I don't know how she found out about Adams Street, really.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyways,
How did you physically move all the furniture and everything?
well, Uncle Simeo had a truck.
Okay.
So the truck was our moving truck.
What did Uncle Simeo use the truck for?
Well, on construction with
Digging
Pep,
the basements.
with Pep, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He had the truck, and when Pep worked, when he started working for his uncle, it was horses and a truck.
Mm.
What do you call it? Not a truck, is
A wagon.
a wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a truck and a wagon.
Yeah.
But then Uncle Simeo had gotten a truck, so they used the truck after that.
Okay.
They got rid of the horses
Yeah.
and the wagon and used the
Okay.
truck. So anyways, I was gonna start third grade, and she wanted us at St. Joe's. So, she came down to St. Joseph's School to talk to the principal there. And I was going in third grade. So anyway, they accepted me, and I think Harvey would have been like first grade or something. So anyway, she talked to the sister that was the principal, and they told her they would put me in second grade. Well, when Mem told me that, I was highly insulted. I was not gonna go back into second grade. So when Mem saw I was kinda stubborn, I said, I'm not gonna go in second grade, I'm gonna stay here and go to school here. So anyway, we went down the first day of school, and I told the principal, I said, I'm not gonna go in second grade. I'm going in third grade. Can you imagine what they must have thought of me?
And what did they do?
They put me in third grade.
Oh, wow.
So what they did, she said, well, we'll compromise. We'll put you in third grade, but if you can't keep up, then you'll have to go to second grade. I agreed to that. And what we did, we had English classes in the morning, French classes in the afternoon. Now, I had never had classes in French either. We spoke French in the house, but when I was in school, everything was in English. So that was quite a challenge for me too, to, in the morning, there I am with all French classes, English classes, and in the afternoon, after our lunch, we had recess, and then you had to talk French in recess too. And then the afternoon classes were all in French.
Oh, so these were not French classes per se, these were different subjects that were taught in French. Wow.
We had our religion class in French, and then we had history in French. Of course, we had it in English in the morning too, but we had the French history, and I forget whatever else we had. But the afternoon classes were all in French. Luckily, I was able to speak in French because we did it at home. But I'm telling you, I worked hard to stay in third grade. I was too proud to go back to second grade, and I made it.
Now, were they charging tuition at the time,
No.
or did you have to be a parishioner of St. Joe's?
Well, we were already parishioners,
Okay.
yeah, you did, yeah.
Okay.
Because it was their school, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I made it, and I graduated from 8th grade there too. Always head of my class, so I worked though. I worked.
Now, how did you, when you were on Adams Street,
Yeah, we
Uh,
walked to church, to school.
right, but was it 1936 or 1938, they had the big hurricane and
Um,
everything flooded?
Let me see, that was 36, wasn't it?
36.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I remember seeing
So,
pictures of
And, yeah,
four,
that's another story
Yeah.
too, because in 1936, with the big flood, on Adams Street, we had water up to, well, the whole basement and up to the, underneath the table in the kitchen. That was all water. So, we had gone back, Uncle Si had taken us all up the hill in his truck, and we stayed with my uncle, Arthur, in his house until the water started to recede. But then, and you know, ma'am, how neat and clean she was, huh? So we got down to look, I don't remember doing it, but I know she said when she went to see the apartment, she and Pep had tried, and Uncle Simeon tried to bring as many furniture pieces as upstairs, but, you know, they couldn't do that much, so anyways, that's when she started looking, and it smelled, it smelled mildew, and, even though she scrubbed and cleaned, she didn't want that anymore. So that's when she went looking for another place to live. And that's how we ended up on Howard Place. Don't ask me how she got it, but I don't know, somebody, you know, the building, that was right on the same street as the church. I don't know if somebody told her that there was an apartment, and there was an empty apartment on the second floor there.
Did it have something to do with Pep became the,
Yeah, we got the apartment because they asked him if he could do the janitor's work.
okay.
So that's how we got the apartment,
And
yeah.
on this note, going to Howard Place, we'll take a break.
Good.